You are in for a treat. Sea Love Yoga went along with her traveling group from yentraveler.com. Check that out. And we went to the Taj Mahal, and I can't wait to give you the Cindy narrated version of the history of Taj Mahal and the experience that we had. Hello from Sea Love Yoga at the Taj Mahal. This is a love story. This was made for the king's wife. I'll give you all the details later, but my husband needs to step up his game. I will give the information of history that's in my head that sometimes is or isn't accurate. And you would think that I was drunk, but I'm actually sober. So this is the ride that you get to come along today with the Taj Mahal. And I think it will probably be interesting, and maybe you will learn some facts that are actually true. Okay, so the Taj Mahal was built in the 1600s. I can't remember exactly the date of the 1600. I have it in my little book, which I will get out later and probably place in this video somewhere. But just know it was the 1600s, which is crazy because how did they do that? How did they do that? And so there was this king, emperor, I think he was one of those, and he loved his wife so much. Loved her so much that he had given her 14 children. I mean, can you imagine that? And that lady must have been like, dude, okay, I've been pregnant for 14 years. Give me a break. Go off to war, okay? So he did. He went off to war. And he's fighting and everything. And the wife was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to give birth to my 14th baby, but he's not here. And so she was like, but I really don't want to bother him at war. So I'm going to just have this baby while he's at war. I think that's what happened. But then also what happened was she didn't feel good afterwards. And you know how like your husband or your significant other, your partner, you know they're at work, but you don't want to bug them. I mean, it's important, but it's not important. So you just like don't want to stress them out. And that's where she was at. She's like, I don't want to stress him out. I'm just going to kind of wait until his war is done. And so that's what happened. She waited a little bit, and then the war was done, or he came home from it or something. And she's like, hey, I didn't want to tell you this, but I feel yucky and I don't think I'm going to make it. And he's like, oh my gosh, why didn't you get me from war? And then she's like, I didn't want to bother you. And then he's like, oh my gosh, I would go heaven to earth for you. I would build you a whole big, huge temple if you asked me to. And then she was like, really? Okay, let's talk about this. And so before she died, she said, I just have 3 things I want. And he's like, anything, you're the love of my life. I'll give you anything you want. And then she was like, okay, all right, well, I have these 14 kids, so you better take care of them. Which, what mother wouldn't do that, right? Yeah, take care of my kids, love them, raise them. Hopefully they're happy, right? So he's like, yes, of course, I love them too. I'll take care of them, of course. What's the next thing? And she's like, okay, well, you are not getting married ever again. Don't you be doing that. And then he was like, I love only you forever. You're my soul mate. And I never want anyone but you. And she's like, that's what I thought. Yeah, you're not going to get married again. And so then he's like, so what's the 3rd thing? And then she said, build something beautiful that signifies our love. And he was like, ooh, I'm getting chills just talking about this. And so he was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll definitely do that. And then she's like, okay, well, I love you. And he's like, I love you. And then, you know, all these tender moments. And then she passes away, and it's so heartbreaking. And he's just devastated. Okay. So then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to, honor her wishes. So I'm going to build her the most beautiful mausoleum tomb so she can be there for eternity, her remains, and that I'm going to always visit it, and everyone's going to see it, and everyone in the world is going to know how much I love her. So he's on the search for all these architects, and the architects are all lining up because they want to be the one, you know. And he finds this one guy. I want to say the guy was from Persia, but I probably got that wrong. So you'll have to do your own research on that. Maybe I'll Google it later and say in my video somewhere who he was. But anyway, so this architect. Oh, whoops. I thought that my audio stopped, but actually it did not. So there's a little pause in there. I'm not sure I'll edit that out because that'll add some dramatic effect. So anyway, the architect that got chosen, right? He hired all these people to help him out, and they were the king was like very meticulous on how he wanted the Taj Mahal to be. It had to be precisely pleasing to the eye, like everything had to be a certain way, and like not even, but like if you have two pillars on one side, you got two pillars on the other side, and you know, he just had a vision, okay, and he's telling this architect, this is what I want. So I also want it in marble. And so one thing about marble, not all marble is the same. And there's some marble in India that is the best marble because it's like, you know, it doesn't get stained or anything. And like if you had a marble coaster and you spilled wine on it, that marble coaster, like marble will suck all that in and then it might never come out, right? Well, this type of marble is not like that. So they picked this marble, right? And then, you know, they did a bunch of chiseling for like 22 years, okay? And then what else happened was, this is what I didn't know about the Taj Mahal, because when you see it in pictures, it just looks like it's this white, beautiful marble structure, but it has so much intricate detail when you actually see it in person that it just blew my mind. I had no idea that this particular part of the Taj Mahal was part of it. So I'm not going to tell you about that yet. I'm going to leave that in suspense. What I am going to tell you about is that it took them 22 years to build this thing. And it's surrounded by these other buildings, like kind of, fenced in with this brick wall and buildings. And the two of the buildings have these like things on top of them. And I'll point it out in my video with the pictures because I haven't done that picture upload yet. But right now you're looking at it in the video. That's my vision. And these little pillar structure things at the top, those little domes, those signify 1 year. So there's 22 of these guys, 11 on this side and then 11 on that side, that say, hey, it took 22 years to build this, okay? So when you go into the entry of the Taj Mahal, this is how perfect this is. There's a spot that you stand in the archway of the first structure, and when you look and you stand in the center of this and you look in through the archway, and you can see the Taj Mahal. And you don't really see it when you're on the other side of the building. You kind of see bits and pieces of it. It's not until you get here that you see the full thing. And it's such a dramatic, breathtaking view that was definitely thought out, because if you stand at this spot, if you stand to the left, you won't see it all. You stand to the right, you won't see it all, but you stand at this particular spot, you see the whole thing. And then, so you walk through, and then in modern day, you got a lot of people taking pictures here. And, you go at sunset, you can see how the sun rises up and makes the white marble so beautiful. And then I'm going to pause for a little bit and collect my thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to pause the history lesson for one moment because we had a Taj Mahal photo shoot, and I'm going to share the photo shoot where it was fun and I felt like a model, and our tour guide, Charlie, found us the best guy, and he was great. And he took our photos, and it was like $20 for an entire album. So I'm going to share this with you, and here they are. Okay, so walking out of the Taj Mahal is a totally different view because it overlooks this river. And the really cool part is at the end of the day, Christine and our tour guide had a surprise for us, and we went on the other side of the river and got to see the view from there. So this photo is the view as if you're standing on the Taj Mahal. So I'm standing on the back here, I'm looking at the river, okay, drum roll, and this is the photo that is if you're looking on the other side of the river at the Taj Mahal. And so I would recommend finding this place because it is so not crowded. And it's like a little secret, it seems, because we got to view this view without people in the way. And the funny thing is that this is where the water buffalo roam. That's not a cow, folks. That is a water buffalo. And this concludes the Drunk But Sober History Tour of the Taj Mahal. Please feel free to comment on any facts that you know about the Taj Mahal, and also remember to like and subscribe to the Sea Love Yoga YouTube page. And thank you for watching, and remember to be aware, to take a deep breath, and to see more love.